I moved here during the summer, and I saw all the girls were wearing crop tops, even the ones with the bellies. And then you know what? Well, like, why not? I even just had like a Nike crop shirt, so it wasn't like a full crop, but I felt good wearing it. So and then I had more because you know what? Why not? And I told myself, I told you, like, I wanted to get everything out of LA, and I felt like, you know what, as long as I'm here, like, I'm going to wear as many crop tops as I can, because when I go back to the Philippines, I don't really know if I can have the same confidence.
Hello and welcome to Here in LA, Historic Filipinotown edition. Today, we talk with Joan McCrease. Joan is a world traveler who helps Filipinos everywhere in important matters with their native land and the countries around the globe. She is the third guest that we've had who I first gave a ride to in my Uber. She's also the third person from Historic Filipinotown. Recently, she reached out and said, yes, I would love to tell my tale on your podcast. So, we will talk about the differences between LA and Manila, something valuable about her self-esteem that LA taught her, and the coolest thing she experienced in her 4 years in our dear city. So let's get ready for Joan. Hey everybody, I am here with Joan Corrado of Historic Filipinotown.
Hello, everybody.
Hey!
Hi, nice to meet you. Thank you for, letting me be here. And it's really nice to be here with you. Yeah.
Okay, so Joan, you're one of the few guests that we've had that I met first in my Uber.
Oh, okay. That's cool to know. I guess because we're very talkative. Like, my mom and I were very talkative when we entered your Uber.
Yeah. Well, okay. This goes back to my belief that Filipinos are the nicest people in the world.
Oh, thank you.
Have you heard this before?
No, I mean, some form of it. Yeah, I guess. Like, because I think we're all hospitable. We like accepting people and, making sure that people feel welcomed. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
So I forgot your mom was in there too.
Yeah, my mom was there. She was visiting LA. We were at a Trader Joe's, and like, she was just so excited to see different things,
Had she been to the U.S. before?
Yeah, she was here like a couple times before, but like that was the first time that she stayed with me for a long time, and she got to like feel like how it was to be a local, going to certain places and like getting to know where you go. So yeah, she liked that.
So Joan, you are a Filipina.
Yes.
From the Philippines.
Yes, born and raised.
And you've been living in LA for how long?
I've been living in LA for like 4 years now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, right before the pandemic happened. So I actually remember it was July 17, 2019 when I arrived here in LA. So, yeah.
And your job is to work with Filipinos.
Yes, I work with all the Filipinos, just make sure that they're taken care of.
And you travel the world doing this.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I basically do. Like, I've been to Nigeria, West Africa, Central Africa. I've been to Asia, of course, around Asia. And now, like, I'm here in LA. So, yeah.
Are there a lot of Asians in Africa?
You'll be surprised, yes. And they do like create their own families there. They do stay. And I've met a lot of Filipino women that are married to Nigerians and Filipinos that are married to Nigerian women as well.
I bet you they make beautiful babies.
Oh, they do. They make the cutest babies. And it's cute to see like they look Nigerian, but they speak Tagalog very, very well.
The mom teaches them that?
Yes, of course, as we should. So, that's how I just like seeing Filipinos everywhere because we know, like, we go everywhere. We go all around the world. So, like, meeting them where they are right now is really a unique experience.
So sadly, you were here doing probably the weirdest 4 years of LA, including most recently our rainstorms, which maybe reminded you of the Philippines.
It did, actually. I was so weirded out. I had to look for my umbrella that was in my luggage because I didn't need it here in LA, but apparently I did.
So where have you lived over the last 4 years?
So mostly in Koreatown, but since I work with a lot of Filipinos and because I love my Filipino food, I always stay in Historic Filipinotown as much as I could. I also have friends there. Okay,
so tell us some of the historic Filipino spots that have legit Filipino food.
Okay, legit Filipino food. Actually, I think one that's really more famous is Dollar Hits, a temple. So they've been featured in Netflix in a bunch of YouTube videos by like food bloggers, and it's one of the unique Filipino experiences because it's actual street food. You know, it's meat on a stick, and you get to like grill it up yourself, and it brings you back to those memories when you do that in the Philippines.
So I've seen this on TikTok. I've never been to Dollar Hits.
Okay, cool.
Never been, but you're absolutely right. It's taken off. But it seems like it's just a little strip mall, and at night there's like temporary barbecues.
Yeah, like charcoal grills.
Yeah, just small ones. And there's meat on a stick, and you grill it yourself, and it's a buck a stick.
Yes, $1. Yeah, $1.50, but something like that.
That's a great deal.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's funny because like when Filipinos that go here to the U.S. and like just for a vacation, they would like to try it there, and then they realize like, but it's $1. $1 is like 50 pesos in the Philippines, and 50 pesos in the Philippines could get you like 5 to 10 sticks.
Oh.
So that's where it comes. That's the difference. But for Filipinos that have been here, especially like first and second generation immigrants, that's one of like core memories that you would want to get. Doesn't matter how much it is. And besides, it's not just for us. It's just not like, you don't think about the money. Just think of like eating that meat on a stick, like smelling like charcoal after your meal, and having those lovely ladies. They're 3 sisters that own that restaurant, and they would always be there. And they have this thing where sometimes they do karaoke.
Really?
Yeah, they do. And when you're new there, when it's your first time there, they would tell you, oh, welcome to Macros from Quezon City, and they would like announce where you came from, and it's really a fun thing to do. It feels like a mini reunion with people you don't know, but because they're Filipino, like you feel right at home. So,
Again, because you're the nicest people, of course.
Thank you.
I'm looking at my Google device. It says Dollar Hits is 2432 West Temple in Historic Filipinotown.
Yeah, so you won't miss it. You won't miss it because you would see the little like chimney smokes from the little charcoal grills at night.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it's really fun to be there. It's just really good to be there and have fun.
It's 2 blocks. It's on Temple, 2 blocks east of Rampart, if you're in the neighborhood, and about 3 blocks west of Alvarado. So,
True. Yeah.
Right in the heart.
Yeah. So.
And so okay. So
it's a main road.
I get these little sticks of chicken. Now, is it mostly chicken?
No, it's chicken, pork, beef, and it's not just like meat. It's actually like the little weird parts. Most Americans wouldn't actually eat, but like if
weird parts, did you say?
Yeah, like I guess weird for you guys, because for us, like we eat small intestines, large intestines, chicken skin, the pig face or the ear. So like they have that in tacos too, like the cabeza. So the cabeza is, instead of putting it in a tortilla, they stick it on a stick, and it's really good. And they make this really good marinade with banana ketchup and other stuff, and it's just really good, and really like it has a good mouth feel. And I'm not a foodie at all, but I know that's what they call it. But yeah, I mean, it's once you get past the like strangeness of it, because you're not everybody's used to that kind of food. You think it overall it would be a good experience.
But it's funny because especially meat eaters, we do get picky about that, even though what's sausage. What's most of the stuff that we're eating, but then when you tell us, so even like lengua tacos,
it's tongue.
Right? And I was behind all these Mexican men, and then one after another they were ordering lengua tacos, and I was gonna get chicken, but I was like, I may as well get lengua too.
Yeah.
And I watched them cut the tongue and bring out the meat, and I was like, maybe I don't want this. But again, we shouldn't eat with our eyes. True.
Don't knock it till you try it. I always say like I try things twice just to make sure if I don't really like it. So if I don't like something, like let me try again. Just maybe I was just like surprised by the flavor or whatever. But yeah.
So Historic Filipinotown, is it what you want it to be as a Filipina?
It has a lot of potential. So let me give you a little bit of a history. So the Historic Filipinotown was like the second group of in a second area wherein a lot of immigrants were here in Los Angeles. So a lot of the Filipinos came there, and they created unions. If you know, like Larry Itliong, there's like a park there dedicated to him, and he like started this advocacy for having union rights for workers and all those things. And that concept stayed in Historic Filipinotown. They also have this establishment called Filipino Workers Center, and they cater not just to Filipinos but everybody. And it just goes to show, how caring Filipinos are and how we want to take care of each other. There are a lot of like Filipino spots as well, like Filipino groceries, other restaurants like Hi-Fi Kitchen, and a lot of Filipino spots. But I don't see a lot of Filipinos living there anymore.
Isn't that weird?
It is weird. And we recently just got a really beautiful arc that basically places Historic Filipinotown, and you had the mayor come and how do you say it? Inaugurate the thing. A lot of our Filipino American politicians were there. There were Filipino servants, and it was like a great gathering. And when I witnessed that, I realized, this would have been greater if Filipinos actually still lived here. and I was thinking, like, how come? Like, not a lot of people stay there anymore. It's funny because, like, you see apartment complexes, they use Filipino words like bahay. Bahay is house in Filipino.
Oh.
Yeah. And so,
How do you spell that?
Bahay.
Okay.
So I don't want to like say the whole name because I'm not sponsored, but they use Filipino words because they are in Filipinotown, but I don't see any Filipinos living there. And I mean, the few that do, they mostly live there because they work there. And I see like on weekends or when there are festivals or activities, a lot of the Filipinos go there. I just feel like it would be a better representation of the Filipino community if people actually live there, I mean, it sounds simple enough, and it sounds a little really like, I don't know, it doesn't even sound like that significant. But if a Filipino, like, you're a Filipino living in a Historic Filipinotown, that's like, for me, that's the ultimate show of pride of your heritage here in Los Angeles.
I heard a theory that the reason that there's not a lot there, and whereas in Koreatown, there's a lot of Koreans, is because you guys' English is so good that when you immigrate here, you don't have to be around your own people. Whereas if you immigrate here and you don't speak the language, you want to be around people who speak your language. And so you guys are just super adaptable. If you got a job in Santa Monica or Westwood, you could totally live there.
I mean, that's a great theory. And I would like to think that that's the truth. And I would like to also share it because every time, like, people, like, Americans or just foreigners in general, foreigners meaning non-Filipinos, when they hear me talk in English, they get surprised. Like, oh, your English is very good, yada, 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 yada. And I have like half the brain to say that, Americans colonized us for 100 years. So like, I mean, we're going to go past that. But, like, again, as I said earlier, like, America is the baseline for a lot of, modern culture. And Filipinos were like direct recipients of that. And there's a great range of Filipinos that know English. They might not be the best, and they can talk with an accent like this, like, Paul, be careful, you might fall in the swimming pool. Something like that. And sometimes it can also pass as like your standard English accent. So, I guess what you're saying is correct, because I do, like, most of the Filipino friends that I have, they're like all over LA County, the Valley, and like all over SoCal. So I guess that's true.
Okay. When you say that you help Filipinos around the world, what kind of things do you help them with? Making sure that they have their papers okay, everything's great, and those that were naturalized, if they want to become dual citizens, we help them as well. Really?
Yeah, we do.
Is it easier now with Joe Biden, or was it easier during Trump, or maybe Obama, for Filipinos to come here? Because we love you, right? America loves Filipinos.
I like to think that as well too. I think the only difference is the magnitude of how warm the U.S. government is. Because generally we have like friendly relations, and
Yeah.
like Filipinos coming in, it's a good thing for them. Just making sure they're all documented and making sure that they're becoming upright citizens. I mean, members of society. I guess now it's kind of. I mean, it goes with the trend of who the president is. So, frankly, answering your question, like now that in Joe Biden's time, it's kind of like when Obama was here.
It's a little easier.
So, yeah, it was a lot easier, especially like people, Filipinos falling in love with Americans for some reason. No, I mean, say that in all.
We're
I
not
say
that lovable.
I say that with all love and respect. It's just that love life. A love life for me is just not in the books for now, at least. So like seeing like people falling in love here is just it's entertaining to me because I feel like I'm really such an outsider. So yeah, I feel like I'm watching a meet cute in a movie.
Well, okay. As an Uber driver, I drive tons of people every day.
Yeah.
The majority of the Filipinos that I am driving, especially early in the morning, are healthcare workers.
Yes.
Either these are nurses or these are hospice workers or even personal nurses for
They're personal
old people.
caregivers. Yeah.
Right. And again, because you guys are the sweetest people in the world. But I think you're also, for the most part, I don't want to stereotype people, but I will. You guys are just upbeat and positive, and if I'm 100,000 years old, that's who I want. I don't want
True.
Tony Pierce being like, when you die, you go to heaven. Turn up the TV. I want somebody sweet and nice. And so, also, because you guys work hard and you speak English, I would think that the likelihood of a Filipino immigrant to America being a burden to the country, going on welfare, causing gun violence, is extremely low.
True. I like to think that as well. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm very grateful and I'm very proud of my kababayans. Kababayan is what you call somebody that is also Filipino.
Oh.
So my kabayan, so it's kind of like a nickname for all Filipinos that are outside the Philippines. So if I see a kabayan that is a healthcare worker, I'm very proud of them. I know that Joe Coy always makes jokes about, Joe Coy, the stand-up comedian. So he's a Filipino-American stand-up comedian. And he makes jokes about, Filipinos in America always have one dream, and that's probably to become a performer. But because they love their family and they know that they have to have like a decent and steady job, they would become healthcare workers. And you know what? For me, like that's the greatest thing because I have this statement in my mind when I was growing up. A doctor said this: doctors cure, but nurses care. And I think Filipinos know how to care, like really well. I'd like to tell a story about how it was for me in Nigeria. And so I got malaria like a month in because I was trying my best to be careful, but it's Nigeria, you're going to get malaria one way or another. So basically I was in the ER in the hospital. I'm afraid of needles. I'm a big girl, literally and figuratively, like I would cry at the sight of a needle. But so the doctors and nurses were seeing that. And there was this one Nigerian nurse that came over and introduced himself. Like, hi, I'm so-and-so. I was actually trained in the Philippines. Can I be the one to, like, insert the IV in you so you wouldn't be so scared? And part of me just really calmed down immediately because I knew that Filipino schools and, like, Filipino nurses, like, know how to take care. They have very good bedside manner and they know how to take care of you. And yeah, I mean, it was my first time in Nigeria, and I had somebody sticking a needle in my arm. I think that was my best bet to get that Nigerian nurse to study in the Philippines, and it was, because after that, like, I didn't feel a thing, and they were like, he was like very patient with me and made sure that I was calm before, during, and after that whole debacle, and I survived because I'm here. So yeah.
So we should have all of our nursing schools in Manila. Then is what
Oh
you're saying?
yes, please do. That will help our economy so much. But yeah, I mean, I guess like I've never met a Filipino nurse that didn't do well in his job. Yeah.
I haven't heard this, that Filipinos want to be entertainers.
Well, it's just that
So like the singer of Journey is like
Arnel Pineda, and we have a lot of really good cover bands. I don't know if you know Charis Pempenko, which was discovered by David Foster, and a lot of other Filipino artists that have taken the global stage. Lea Salonga, for example. So yeah, like there's this innate thing in us that makes us want to not just perform, but like with me, I like telling my stories, and I think that's our version of telling our stories, to perform.
Yeah, I would think a lot of young American kids want to be athletes.
Oh, see, there you go. So I think that's
and
like
you guys
how it
want to
is.
be performers.
Yeah, like we want to be like heard and seen. And
so did you perform in school when you were a little girl?
I did. And it's funny because I studied in a Catholic all-girls school, and I'm not the conventionally beautiful like young Filipina, and that's me not self-deprecating.
Okay, but I'm still going to interrupt.
Okay.
You're a beautiful woman.
I am.
You're wearing a little bit of a revealing dress here today.
And this is because of LA, because I've learned how to like myself wearing a crop top and like rock it.
LA has given you confidence?
Yes, it has. Like I could never wear an outfit like this anywhere else. So,
really?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a crop dress.
Yeah.
And you've got some curves, girl.
Thank you.
But you're saying she gave a little hair flip there. You're saying in the Philippines you were less confident of yourself?
Yeah, because in the Philippines the standard of beauty is very different. It's mostly like looking for the other, but that's what I say. The other meaning what is opposite of what we have. So Filipinos are, brown, short, not really fat, but like not really like model Kate Moss thin. But there would be girls that would look like that. They all use the whitening products.
No.
Yes.
What would they whiten?
Everything, your skin. They would take pills, IVs, soaps.
Do those things work?
At a certain extent, yes.
To become less brown.
Yes.
So your shade of brown is darker than me, and I'm black.
Okay.
But you look like a tan Hawaiian.
Thank you, because I like to.
You have a beautiful caramel color about you.
And it took me decades to love this color.
Really?
Yeah, because I grew up watching that, that white is beautiful, light skin is beautiful. And like Hollywood, you don't see a lot of colored women back then in the 90s.
So, a young lady your shade might be tempted to take these pills and creams to lighten it up?
It's kind of like a passageway of like into like puberty and stuff. You would see girls like in other countries they would like have plastic surgery. In the Philippines it would be whitening products, which is weird, honestly.
And they work?
So, yeah, as I said, like to a certain extent, but it won't really get you as white as you want it. And so like they do like
how white did they want to get?
Like I'm
like white girl white?
Yeah, I'm so not gonna be politically correct after this, but yeah, like white girl white.
Huh.
And it's weird because, I know I've known Americans and they like women that are, like tanned. And,
right.
And they have color on their skin. And again, it's like wanting what you don't have.
Right.
So
bronzer for pale girls is what they want.
Yeah.
And whitening for
glutathione. So that's the medicine. It actually helps your liver, but the side effect is getting lighter skin.
So my man Sammy Sosa, are you familiar with?
I've heard of him. Is he like an athlete?
He is an athlete.
Okay. Baseball player?
He's one of the greatest baseball players ever.
Okay.
And he's Dominican, and he lightened his skin,
and
it doesn't look good.
Oh, okay.
Because maybe when you're rich, you can get as many pills as you want, and you can do more exotic types of procedures, and it just doesn't look good.
Okay.
And so if you say to an American, do you know anybody who has white in their skin? They'll probably say Sammy Sosa.
Oh. Okay.
So anyhow, this is fascinating to me.
Yeah, I mean, for me at first, when I was growing up, I thought it was normal.
Yeah.
And then like again, when I started traveling the world and like, having a wider point of view, and I just realized, you know what, everybody's beautiful in the skin that they are in.
Yes.
The only people that have problems with it are the people that do not have that same skin.
Yeah.
And I've again, since moving here, I've changed my mindset in making sure that people that hate on me, that's a judgment on their character, not mine. And
what was it about LA though that made you more comfortable?
Nobody really cared. Like in a nice way, like people let you be. People let you be. And I guess because here is like LA is Hollywood, and you know I grew up watching Hollywood, and then like breaking the curtain, like opening the curtain to to Hollywood by actually living here, I realized like, not everybody looks perfect, and not everybody has a perfect life here, and realizing, hey, what I have is actually good, and I came here with the sense knowing that I would be leaving at some point. I always had this so how do you call this? I had this mindset that I should enjoy every single thing that LA has to offer me, and I think that made my experience here in LA so much better.
Would you go to dance clubs or bars or? Because you're. Do you say how old you are?
Yeah, I can say how old I am. I'm 33. I'm turning 34.
You look 28.
Thank you so much. You know, fat don't crack, and Asian skin is crazy beautiful. So yeah, I'm proud of how I look. I like getting carded before. You know,
Have you gotten carded?
Yes, twice, and I felt so good. I was like, thank you so much for doing that to me. You made my night. But yeah.
Well, okay. This is why I'm asking, and again, this is very personal.
Okay, no problem.
But as I drive people around, people tell me about getting BBLs, breast implants, so that they could look more like you.
Wow, I mean, yeah, okay, yeah.
Have you noticed that here though?
Yeah, they do like the big booties and all that.
Yeah.
And
did you know that some Americans liked that before you came over here?
I didn't. The thing is, I started liking like how thick I am when I lived in Nigeria, because in Nigeria the beauty standard was having like thick, beautiful body, just like how they have it here. Yeah, and it's funny because like when I moved there, they called me Oyibo, Oyibo is I forgot which dialect, but it basically translated to white person, and for me that was so funny. But I mean, yeah, and then like living there and like making Nigerian friends and like asking the dudes like what's your type, and then knowing like they like girls that have really like meaty personality. I mean, ladies that have a meaty personality is what they like, and I realized, okay, like I've been living under a rock in the Philippines. Not a lot of Filipinos, like, because I know a lot of big girls that like me in the Philippines. Like I tell them, you know what, you should get out and like explore the world. We have a bigger market out here when it comes to dating. So yeah, I mean, it really made me feel good about myself.
So were you the star of the show when you were in Nigeria?
A little bit, yeah, I guess, because like I was very exotic in a sense. Like nobody looked like me there.
Yeah.
Because like the Filipino ladies, they were all older. They already had their families, and I'm like the only single lady there. Yeah, and it was weird to get that attention because I told you like I didn't have the standard, the conventional beauty standard in the Philippines. So for me, I was just like coasting along, like just existing, and then I didn't know what to do with all the attention that I was getting. But it really helped me like gain confidence. Yeah.
I drove a college student the other day from a private school all the way down to Long Beach. It was a long ride.
Oh wow. Okay.
And she was actually much bigger than you. And she said one of her first days at school, she saw another bigger girl in a crop shirt, and she was
good
like,
on her.
And she was like, "What is this? I have to be your best friend.
Uh-huh.
I've never seen this before. Because she said that she would wear like really baggy clothes to like hide her body.
Oh gosh.
It was heartbreaking. Because I
yeah.
mean, even
that
now.
sounded like me. That sounded
Really?
like me before I moved here.
So I'm sure this isn't your first crop dress.
Yeah, it's not my first one. The first one I bought is here in LA.
What inspired you to do it?
Because I moved here during the summer and I saw all the girls were wearing crop tops, even the ones with the bellies. And then you know what? Well, like, why not? I even just had like a Nike crop shirt. So it wasn't like a full crop.
Yeah.
But I felt good wearing it. So, and then I had more because, you know what? Why not? And I told you, like, I wanted to get everything out of LA. And I felt like, you know what, as long as I'm here, like, I'm going to wear as many crop tops as I can. Because when I go back to the Philippines, I don't really know if I can have the same confidence.
Because they may judge you over there?
Yeah, they're very, like, I don't know. They didn't even study law, but they're all judging me. But, yeah, everybody's a judge in Manila. But,
really?
Yeah. But
the nicest people in the world in the headquarters of the nicest world?
Yeah, but, we're very critical of each other. And I think that's how it is when you go back home. But,
yeah, that's true.
I mean, I love my country, but then again, we're not perfect. So, yeah, I guess, like, I just have to, like, really not get in my head about the crop top situation.
So we've been communicating through Instagram.
Yeah.
And on your Instagram, young lady, you're wearing bikinis.
Yes.
What do your friends in Manila comment on your?
Yeah, they think I'm crazy because they've never seen me in a bikini before.
Because they don't wear them either?
No, they do, but they wouldn't see a girl my size wear that.
Right.
Yeah, so I started wearing that when I was in Nigeria, and then when I moved here, so I didn't really have time to like wear a bikini back home in the Philippines.
Yeah.
So yeah, when they said, "Oh, girl, like you're looking different here," but yeah, again, mostly if you would also see my Instagram, it says there like, if you're from work, like unfollow me, and I changed my Instagram to private just to like give myself a bigger space to express myself.
Yes.
And I'm not saying that wearing bikinis is a bad thing, but there are certain rules that I have to follow.
Oh, for work.
Yeah, for work.
For work, you can't.
Well, not really, but you have to have, some sort of image that's, clean.
I understand.
Yeah. So, but again, my work is not my life.
Yes.
And that is why I like to express myself in all other ways. Like, what I wear, where I go, who I'm with and what I do. And that's how I express myself. And that's, I feel like, how I leave a mark in my life, in this world.
I am positive that you're leaving a mark just like that young college kid.
Yeah.
With that stranger.
Yeah. I wish that wherever you are, if you hear this, go wear that crop top and, just love yourself. It's going to be hard, but I'm sure at the end of the day, you're going to love yourself and you're going to feel so good wearing that crop top, especially that summer is coming. So yeah, go buy that crop top.
It's always summer in Manila though, isn't it?
Yes, it is always summer. There's no cold season, only hot and hot wet. So that's when the monsoon comes and the typhoons. That's the only difference.
When you advise recent Americans, or maybe not even, they're here on a visa or they're students, what tips do you give them about adapting to the U.S.?
It's never bad to research, to do your research, learn about the country that you're going into, not just through YouTube or Facebook, but actually like read official documents, government websites. Because at the end of the day, if you're unsure about what you're going to do and your next step here, living in America, the best thing to like follow is what the government tells you.
What might I see in the government? Like you can't...
Like the USCIS, Department of Homeland Security.
Right, but what are they going to tell me that I can't like buy a gun, or I can't.
No, let's not go there.
I can't drop acid. What are they saying on these?
Basically, how long you stay here, what can you do
Oh.
with the visa that you have.
So you want to make sure you don't extend your welcome.
Yeah, and if you do, make sure that you know. And this is not a professional advice, but if you do, because I mean, let's face it, not only Filipinos do that, but everybody does that.
Oh, it's common for people to extend their time.
Yeah, a lot of people do that. Sometimes, they do that for love or for work or for hustling. So I've met a lot of people, not just Filipinos, that do that. Just make sure that you CYA cover your. Because you have to do your research, make sure that you know what you're getting into, especially if you want to stay here for a long time. Again, also know who to call when you're in trouble, not just friends and family, but not just 911. Also, because here in the US, Asian hate is rising, and I feel so bad for my fellow Asians. But it's happening.
Is it still rising?
Yeah, I mean, it's still there, still exists. Actually, we just finished the preliminary hearing of this one Filipino family that was assaulted in a McDonald's, and
in LA.
Yeah, here in LA.
No.
Yeah, and then
do you know what neighborhood?
Oh, I forgot. Because the thing is, I read so many of these things.
There's too many.
Yeah. And I mean, not
That's
just
terrible.
Filipinos, but with other Asians. And especially this happened right after the pandemic. I get it. People get scared. People don't know things. And when they don't know things, they tend to make bad decisions.
And you're saying this because the ignorant haters of America, when they see somebody like you, they think you're Chinese?
Well, not necessarily Chinese, but they know that I'm not from here. Cause it's funny you say that though, because people mistake me for a Latina.
Yeah. I can see that.
I guess I can see that too. But I feel bad because those that I do have Filipino friends that look Filipino, and sometimes they've been they've been shouted at, saying, "Hey, go back to your country," and they're second generation immigrants here. So what country? They don't even know Tagalog. So it's. Where should I go? Another state? No. So I mean, it's sad that this is happening along with the other things that are happening here in the U.S.
So Philippine versus Philippine hate.
Yeah. So it's just.
That's the worst, right?
It's just I feel bad that this in a beautiful place in a very progressive country, there's still something as primitive as this kind of hate, and that's why again, as I said, I have a limited time here. I've always felt even though I had the privilege of being a local, I knew that I'm still sort of, a tourist, a foreigner, because I knew that I was going to leave. I just wish that, more people, if you don't know things, ask or research. Don't just react, because those reactions lead to hate, lead to violence, lead to, people losing lives. And I guess just not understanding doesn't have to lead to getting hurt, and that's what I want. That's what I hope for Filipinos to experience, because even Filipinos and Filipinos aren't just victims. I've seen second generation, first generation immigrants that have this mentality. Oh, I'm already a naturalized U.S. citizen. They look down on other Filipinos that are not U.S. citizens yet, and dude, we're breathing the same air. Okay, our farts smell bad all the same.
No, they don't.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
Oh, mine's a little nutty. I'm sorry for making a fart joke here, but I'm trying to make lighter of the situation, because really it feels bad. Because there was also another case in Sacramento. So right outside the seat of power, this Asian couple got assaulted by 2 Americans. So. And they had no reason to do that. And why? Was it because they were old, or was it because they? And I guess that's coming. I feel like that's coming from a standpoint of ignorance, of not understanding.
Because you're not our enemy.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody's our enemy here. Nobody needs to fight for anything. You have so many resources. There's no scarcity going on. I mean, in general, I'm not sure about
Should our educational system be better about, for example, I grew up in Illinois at a good school, but I didn't know anything about Asian people and the diversity and where these countries are on the map, how to tell the difference between one another.
Yeah.
For sure, I didn't know anything about Koreans, and I only knew about Filipinos because one of my best childhood friends, Buddy Borgia, was Filipino.
Shout out to Buddy.
Yeah, and so, but you shouldn't have to have a second grade best friend, or friend to
have to tell you where they came from.
So do you feel like maybe, I don't know, geography or just foreign cultures should be part of our...
Yes, and yes, and yes, and yes.
Do
over
they
and over
do they
again.
teach American stuff in Filipino schools?
Yes, we do. Like there's a year in high school. So for us, first year is Filipino culture, second year is Asian, third year is American, fourth year is like the classics like Greek, Roman. That's how we...
You have a whole class just on American history and culture?
Yeah, and literature and all those things. And again, because of course, this is coming from a standpoint that we were the ones that were colonized. So we had to understand why you guys came to our country, because our country was beautiful, it was paradise, and you just had to have it. and you get to understand why they were doing that and why we should love our country more, because the reason why they came here, because we do have paradise. I guess because I said like America's a baseline. Like everybody likes to the U.S. and in international politics, like America is Big Brother. America is like the international police guy.
Yeah.
So that makes you the standard. So I guess like in your perspective, this is me trying to understand your perspective. I feel like since you're already there at the top, or you're already the standard, you didn't have to think about the ones that are still developing, the ones that are still growing up. But then you actually should, because that would make you a better police guy. That will make you a better big brother to the other countries that you are all allies with.
Let me ask you about Americans who are older, who come to the Philippines to retire, or maybe just meet a Filipino young lady.
Oh, like 90 Day Fiancé?
Like
I
who?
get it,
Like
though.
who?
I get it, though. I get
90
it.
Day Fiancé?
Yeah,
I don't know that show.
Oh, okay. So there's a show where you guys have fiancé visa. So you have there are not just Filipino and Americans, but Americans and foreigners, Americans and non-American couples, and they get a visa. So you have 90 days to get married here. And there was this one rather popular couple. His name was Big Ed, and I'm so sorry I forgot the name of the girl. And there were like a handful of Filipinas in that show, and they were characters. They were main characters. But yeah, I mean, sorry.
So here's my question. Obviously, that's a little outrageous because it's reality. But so during quarantine, I fantasized of going somewhere else, Bali or Thailand or somewhere where super inexpensive, and just working from home from there. Because I watched other YouTubers do this.
Yeah.
And there was a couple of dudes from America who did this in the Philippines, and of course fell in love with Filipino women.
As they should.
But they were significantly older than these women. These women looked like girls, which I thought was a little creepy. And these dudes kind of looked like me. They were balding. They had little bellies going on. Like they did look older, and they may have been older than these women's dads.
And okay.
But it seemed to me that the dads were very grateful that at least one of their daughters was going to go to this white man's life now and have a better life. Is that really the?
It's a stereotype, yeah.
But okay, I would hate if I lived on this beautiful island if the world police showed up and took one of my sisters.
Yeah.
What do you look at when you see a couple like that? Do you judge them? Do you feel good for the girl? What do you feel like?
It's so funny because I'm now in a position like that because I'm a younger single lady.
Yep.
And I'm eligible to date. And I end up like getting attracted to mostly non-Filipinos, mostly older men. Mainly, I think, so going back to your question, I used to judge them, and I feel, and I would like to apologize. Since my friends and I would make jokes like, oh, we would do a slow clap, a silent slow clap, like, hey, congratulations, another kababayan is, gotten out of the rut or something.
Yeah.
And we were just making fun of it because we didn't know. Again, that was coming from a standpoint of ignorance. We didn't understand what was happening, and we watched Hollywood and seeing, having that kind of image in your head, and seeing this, younger Filipino lady with an older, foreigner. It's like, okay, like, sugar mom, sugar daddy much? Like, that's what you would think. But now I'm in that position. and even before living here in LA, when I started dating, I realized that I was more attracted to these men, and not to hate on my Filipino brothers. It's just that, we have Filipino women have a lot of masculine energy, especially the ones that are, that have to hustle. They're the eldest, they're the breadwinners. And, we hustle. We make sure that we work. We make sure there's food on the table. And so we're all in that mindset. We need someone mature to understand that, hey, I can't go on dates as much because I have to work. I have to, because we're very big on family. Our culture is very big on family. So, I can't go around dating every now and then. So I need someone more mature. I need someone more stable. And you can't really find that with Filipino guys my age. I mean, if you do, lucky, good for you. Like, go put a ring on it. But for the rest of us that haven't had the chance to find love with other Filipino boys, like with me, especially, again, with other factors such as, conventional standard of beauty, my work, lifestyle, the world is a lot easier to be in right now. Globalization is at its peak. Tickets are cheap. I'm not saying that you move to somewhere else to find love, but I'm just saying, like, we Filipinos, we don't have to get stuck to like having this idea that, hey, get married, have kids, just stay here in the Philippines. No, you don't have to do that.
Would a Filipina, do you think, rather have a Filipino man, or do you think they'd rather have a non-Filipino?
So in a perfect world, knowing a Filipino, knowing how they were raised by their Filipino mothers, knowing how they act towards their siblings, how they take care of their families, you would love to have a Filipino partner.
Yes.
Because they are one of the sweetest guys I know. I stand with that because I have two brothers, and they are the most loving. Like, their girlfriends are so proud. Oh, my brother just got married, so
congratulations.
So congratulations to him.
How do you say that in Tagalog?
Congratulations. Well, if it's congratulations is like mabuhay.
Mabuhay.
Mabuhay, yeah. So it's mabuhay ang bagong kasal. Like, congratulations to the newlyweds. And I see how Filipinos, if they were lucky enough to be in a good environment, good and nourishing environment, they would know how to take care of their partners and their family. Because it doesn't stop with your partner. It has to go through your family.
So and I think this is everybody.
Yeah.
The perfect partner would know about your history without having to be taught.
Yes.
Maybe your first language wouldn't hurt. And the culture.
Yeah.
So ideally it would be to have a local boy.
Yes.
The boy next door.
Yes, but also the local boys would want like tall, slanky, white ladies.
Is that what they want too?
Yeah. I mean, again, it's not just Filipinos. Everybody
wants Giselle.
Yeah, everybody wants what they can have. So, I mean, yeah, it's crazy. I've heard a Filipino boy saying, I want a girl that's like 36, 24, 36. Like, dude, I don't even see one pack. I see one big belly. And you want a Giselle? You want a Kate Moss? Like, why? So, that's how it goes. And it's crazy but that it is what it is.
Yeah.
So I see like my friends, I only have two girlfriends, like that in my friend group. They're both married, and they were both lucky enough to marry Filipino guys. And I said, like, and I even asked them, like, what do you think? Like, how come? I mean, this is a more vulnerable side of me, but like, why do you think I can't find anybody to be with? Like, I mean, I'm not that bad, like, but then they both said, it's not about. There's really nothing to tell you. Like, there's no signal that, hey, this one's the one for you. It's really just how you feel it. And yeah, because I feel like if there's like one smidgen of doubt in this person, in the person you're dating, then it's not going to be with you. It's not going to be with that person. And knowing what I know now and living where I've lived, I feel like I guess I have this mentality like the world is a big place. I get to meet a lot of people. I don't have to get stuck with, like trying to fit myself into a position that Filipino boys would like. So, yeah. Again, I'm single. So, yeah, it's not a dating show, but yeah.
What's your Instagram handle?
My Instagram handle is Mackerpacker. So it's like, it sounds like that curse word. So it's MackerPacker.
Okay.
So yeah.
You have been in LA for 4 years.
Yes.
Tell me one of your favorite moments of being here.
Oh, I guess one of my favorite moments of being here, was when realizing that I was in LA, which is Hollywood. Because, again, I came from Nigeria where, like, there was not nothing, but, like, in Abuja, like, you pretty much keep to yourself. Nollywood is in Lagos. So, anyway, a whole other story. But, yeah, came from a very small, like, bubble. Then
you came straight from Africa to LA.
Yeah, like with my dog and everything. It was crazy. I had, like, 6 boxes with me. I didn't know how to get out of LAX. But thankfully, a Filipino porter was there to help me out.
Wow.
So, yeah, shout out to my kababayans, honestly. But yeah, so the first time that I was here, like I think I was 2 or 3 months in, and I was just at home. I didn't know where to go. I didn't have, like, my friends weren't here yet. They were still all in the East Coast. I was just I think it was a live video of something of a certain artist that I had a big crush on. I guess I can say it. So it was Maluma. So this
Maluma. I don't know Maluma.
Yeah, so he's from Colombia, I think.
Uh-huh.
So just I learned Spanish through him. So
really?
Through listening to his songs and stuff. So I saw him and I saw that he was like 3 miles from me, and that like, oh dude, like I can actually just like take an Uber and see this guy. And again, this is me coming from outside of the U.S., being in a third world country, born and raised in a developing country, and then being here and like things that I see on TV, I can actually like look at with my own eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like the first like core memory for me, like living here in LA. And then after that, like, seeing a lot of, actors, actresses, YouTube people, because I love YouTube. So yeah, but the earlier part of YouTube where they still had cat videos and stuff.
So you just happened to run across some of these people?
Yeah, like a bunch of guys from BuzzFeed. So yeah, they used to stay in in our building at work. They had an office there, and then I saw Bruce Willis when he was still. Yeah, I saw him at the Grove.
Just walking around.
Yeah, just walking around. What else? I saw Harry Styles.
What?
Yeah, James Corden.
Wait a second. This was when James Corden was doing the little skit with Harry?
No, it was even different.
It was separate.
Separate times. And then I saw Snoop Dogg. I saw a lot of
Harry
artists.
Styles though. Were the kids just going crazy?
I wasn't like a big fan, but I felt the energy, and it was like I felt like I was tuning, because he was a very charismatic guy.
Yeah.
And he was very chill though. Like it was just like, from across the room. I didn't like say hi.
Where'd you see Snoop Dogg at?
The Wiltern, and I got lucky enough to weasel my way in to get close to him to have like a nice photo. But I didn't have a photo with him. Just took a photo.
You guys were there to see a show?
A concert.
Who was playing?
It was Snoop Dogg. So it was this like I Thank Me tour, I think.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, it's one of my.
Thank me.
Yeah, that, and I remember that I saved his Instagram photo where he played at the Wiltern, because I saw my hand in the. Because I knew that was my hand. So I saved.
Were
that.
your nails as identifiable as they are now?
Not yet, but I had like very bright colored nails. Now I'm like I feel like this is an LA thing, like having acrylic nails.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know. I've never seen this anywhere else, but I like it. It gives me more energy and confidence. It gives me nail talk.
How did you like the Wiltern?
I love the Wiltern. I love the theaters here. I've been to Pantages, Dolby Theater. I love going to the musicals, even on my own. I don't need to be like.
Who did you see at the what play did you see at the Pantages?
I saw Little Woman. No, Pretty Woman.
Yeah.
Book of Mormon.
I saw it there,
Hamilton.
too. Really?
Yeah, I watched Hamilton here and in New York. I've seen like most of the seasons packages in the last few years I've watched actually.
So we know each other from Uber because you
Yeah.
take Ubers. But both the Wiltern and the Pantages are close to the Red Line.
Yes.
Have you used the subway in LA?
I have. Before the pandemic, I did. I still have a tap card. It still has like $20 in it, actually. I guess I just compared to what we have. I mean, our public transportation in the Philippines has big potential, but it's not there yet.
LA public transpo is better than in the
I
Philippines?
can say yeah, because like you don't take 3 hours to line up to take the train.
It takes that long?
Yeah, I guess because the metro, I mean the capital is very condensed. So and like not enough cars, not enough public transportation. We have buses, FXs, jeepneys, and trains, and they all get filled up for some reason. Everybody's there. Everybody's in Quezon City or in Manila.
And it's hot.
It's hot.
So you got to wait hours for a train,
Yeah.
and you're hot. So that's why you call it a developing country.
Yeah, because like I guess that's one of the things that I'm gonna miss because like everything here is convenient. You know, an Uber away, Uber Eats, DoorDash, the train again, even the buses. Like I don't mind waiting for the bus, even if they get 20, 30 minutes late. I still get to where I have to go in the same day because I had an experience where I left my workplace at 5 p.m. on a Friday. I got home Saturday at 1 a.m. That's how bad the traffic was. It was
This is Manila.
This was Manila, and this was when
The next day you got home.
yeah, and I figured I should have just like gone to the club or something. I would have had a better time, but yeah.
Okay, so a long time ago, I worked for a customer service company that basically a phone.
Oh, like a BPO.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who, little did I know. But I was building this company so that they could then move it to the Philippines and mirror it over there for workers for a fraction of the price.
Yeah.
When some of our people went over there to train these reps, they said that the reps who were only being paid like $3-4 an hour were at a status that they could afford private drivers.
True.
Really?
Yes.
So even if you only make $3 an hour, you can afford basically a chauffeur, a Filipino chauffeur.
Yeah.
Chauffeur.
Not with a.
Where
not
was
with a white
yours
glove
that
service.
day?
I am very frugal.
Good for you.
and I was raised in a very conservative and strict household. And I wanted bigger things. I wanted to get my own house. I wanted, my own car. And at that time, I wanted to do that by myself. My parents have been so supportive of us three. We're 3 kids, and they only work on government salaries as well. So it's not that much, but they got us through high school, college. They all pay for our college.
Really?
Yeah. And that's the thing in the Philippines. Like, you don't have student loans because yeah, there are places where you can get college and not have to break the bank. So we got into good colleges, and now like I want to give back to my family.
Good
so
for you.
That's where most of my salary goes to, even until now. Actually,
Did you
But
give
yeah.
it back to your parents?
Yeah, not necessarily through cash because they will never accept it. But like if my mom wants something, I would buy it. My dad doesn't tell me anything, but he would he appreciated everything that I gave him. So he just passed 2021
I'm so
because
sorry.
of COVID. It
Really?
it was a pretty dark time because all of them got COVID and there were like travel restrictions, and my whole family was sick and I didn't know what to do. And I got I got lucky because with my work I was able to jump through the hoops. I didn't get to see him, but I got to talk to him before he passed. And those things so it makes you feel like you have to give back. I have to make sure that the time that they have with us is as amazing as it can be. And that's how I treat my life as well. Again, it's like living here. Like I make sure that all my experiences are the best. Even if, I have F-ups, if I screw up or do something bad, do something wrong, make bad decisions, I own up to it, but make sure that I learn something from it. And I think that makes my life fuller. So yeah, but getting a chauffeur, getting a babysitter, not just a babysitter, but like a nanny that lives with you and a housekeeper that lives with you.
Totally normal.
Totally normal.
Will you have a chauffeur when you go back?
Yes, I'm actually asking my brother to look for one because the thing is, I walk to work. I walk to my work when it's like a couple blocks from my house, and so I don't think I can.
You don't
ever,
need one.
Yeah,
for that.
Yeah, here. But when I move back, I still replay what happened to me, like leaving on a Friday, getting home on a Saturday. Like, I do not want that to happen to myself anymore. So yeah, I'm looking for a driver. So yeah.
At first, I didn't want to go to Manila and marry a girl, but if I could get you said a live-in housekeeper,
Yeah.
a nanny.
Yeah.
How big is my house? I gotta have a big house.
Not really. You
All
just
these
have-
people are living in it, and my chauffeur.
Yeah.
Because I do want a chauffeur.
Because you can have like, the thing is how we do it in the Philippines is like a husband and wife would be like the housekeeper and the chauffeur, and a nanny could be like a niece or the daughter of that family. So like you're actually helping each other out, like giving them a livelihood, and with the money that they earn, they actually help their relatives.
Okay,
that's
so hold on. So my nanny's married to my chauffeur, is what you're saying?
I mean, usually that's how we do it.
Right.
So
and you look for that.
yeah, we
Because
do.
then I only have to get one extra bedroom for them.
Exactly.
Okay, so it still seems like I need a 3 or 4 bedroom house for everybody.
You can still get a 3 or 4 bedroom house.
Yeah.
Just have to know where to look. It's not going to be, of course, in the actual capital, but yeah, what I'm trying to say is everything is more possible in the Philippines.
But also, I get 3 sticks of pork face for $1.
Yeah, true.
So I'm way ahead of the game.
You get more bang for your buck over there.
I'm way ahead of my game. It's beautiful and warm, so I don't need all these coats and blankets.
Oh, no.
I'm not paying for heaters.
You don't need to change, your outfits per season.
Can I wear Hawaiian shirts?
Yes, those are the most comfortable ones.
Yeah.
Anything cotton and linen. Amazing. So, yeah. I mean, I guess, talking about it now, I'm getting more excited going home. Honestly. And everybody asks me that, like, are you ready to go home? Are you not going to miss LA?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the truth is, yeah, of course I'm going to miss LA. This has been my home for the last 4 years.
Yeah.
But then again, like Alice, was it Alice or the one in Wizard of Oz?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. No, it's
Dorothy.
Dorothy said there's no place like home. And like being in my family's house and having my mother, wake me up in the morning and my brother making coffee for everybody, and those little things, I can't exchange for anything else in the world.
Let's say you wanted to see Snoop Dogg performing in Manila.
Oh, it's gonna cost so much more, honestly.
In Manila, it costs more?
Yeah.
At the Wiltern, it probably costs like $50, $60.
Yeah, and you can be like up on the stage in the middle, like smelling what you can smell from the things that he
hold
smokes.
on a second. Joan,
Yes.
I like to smoke pot.
Okay.
Is that dangerous for an American to try to do in Manila?
Pot is illegal. But there are a lot of other things that you can do to enjoy yourself in Manila. So, I am sure you can find at least 100 things to do to get yourself entertained.
Don't do that.
Yeah,
is what you're saying.
don't do that.
Where should I? Because the Philippines is inexpensive. Mm-hmm. And maybe I can save some money if I live there.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to go on vacation. Mm-hmm. Where's a good place for me to smoke my weed? Do I have to go all the way to Amsterdam?
You have to. I'm really not sure if
There's
there
no
are
Asian
Southeast
countries?
Asian countries that.
Really? Everybody's against it.
Yeah. Again, I guess that's coming from a standpoint of ignorance.
Which is so interesting because if you have a developing country and you have a tropical
yes, it's a perfect climate.
land.
Yeah, exactly.
What else do you guys grow? I saw a guy on YouTube climb a palm tree, like an old man, really easily with a machete. He would chop and step and chop and step, and he climbed
I have
up.
uncles that do that.
Do you really?
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's one of my favorite things in the Philippines is having fruit-bearing trees in your backyard. Practically, you don't even have to go hungry. There are bananas, coconuts, star apples, other things that. And
It's a
they're just
tropical
there.
paradise.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so the land wants to grow things. Mm-hmm. Okay, I never thought that pot would be legal in America, the land of the free. Uh-huh. And yet it kind of is. Mm-hmm. We're getting there. Uh-huh. Do you think that that's a possibility in the Philippines, or just things are just not ever going to go that way?
I do know that there are some statesmen that actually, propose bills regarding that. And I mean, for me, like in all its essence, like even before, I know that it's illegal in the Philippines. I feel like it shouldn't be.
Right.
And this is my personal opinion, because I feel like it's coming from nature. It's not like, you don't mix it with fentanyl or something.
Exactly.
So, I mean, have you ever seen somebody OD'd of marijuana? They just get hungry.
That's right. Or fall asleep.
Exactly. So, I feel like it shouldn't get that kind of reaction from what we have now. I mean, at least back in the Philippines.
Yes. You're going back to the Philippines.
Yes.
Are you going to get a new assignment for a new country?
I will stay in the Philippines for a couple years.
Really?
Yeah. So basically, I'm gonna.
That's how your job works. You go away for a few years and you
then,
come back for a few years.
Yeah. So.
Are you looking forward to going to your next country after?
Yes, actually, yeah.
You love traveling.
Yeah, I do. I think I have ADHD because like I get uneasy when I stay in one place too long. But I also love the impermanence. It's a double-edged sword. I love discovering new things, living in new places, and experiencing things for the first time again. Because how many times can I say, like, I've lived here, I've lived wherever. But also, it makes me feel like I don't have roots. I mean, I'm lucky that I feel like I grew up in a great household. But other than that, it can only go so far. My brothers are already making their own families. And so, like, I don't know, like, is there a place that I can call home? And I got lucky here because, like, my friend group, my best friend lives in Koreatown as well. My other best friends, I live in Santa Monica. So there's like 6 of us, and the 2 are back in the Philippines. And I had a great support system here in LA. And shout out to Jethro, Anna, and Mark, because I'm sure they're going to listen. They've been really a great support system. Like, I can cry and laugh with them. And they made me feel like this is home. Mm-hmm. But then again, the impermanence of it all makes me, one is to, again, appreciate everything that I experience, make sure that I get what I can and learn from it. And also 2, I learned how to keep a safe space for myself and not give all of myself to a certain place. Because I've done that, like with relationships and in some experiences. So now, like, I have 20 days left. I feel like I'm going to leave LA still myself, still whole, if not revamped. And knowing that I also have left a mark here in LA. So, yeah.
Don't throw away those cropped clothes.
Oh, yes, definitely.
My final question is Mexican food.
Oh, yes.
In Nigeria, I'm sure it wasn't very good.
No, we didn't have Mexican food
in the
there.
Philippines, is there taco stands?
Honestly, there are, but nowhere near as here in LA.
So let me ask you about Mexican food here.
Okay.
Because you're in love with this Colombian singer?
Maluma. Oh gosh. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I love.
Don't be embarrassed.
Yeah,
he needs to know this.
Yeah.
Is he married?
No, I don't know. I think so. I think he has a kid or something. So they're 2 like.
We all have kids, but is he married?
I don't know. I don't want to know, actually, because then my dreams would shatter.
Your fantasy is gone. All right. Did you get to experience real Mexican food here in LA?
I'd like to think so, yeah, because I have like a few spots that for me has like the best pupusas, the best tacos, like on Olympic. And I get the ones that are like the tripas and the cabeza and the lengua as well, like the tongue. And I get it. That's what I love eating, like especially when I'm like I've had a long day, I don't want to cook. I'm gonna go to that taco stand. Yeah.
Do you order in Spanish?
I try. I don't want to give them the idea that I can speak really well, because I speak it, but I don't speak with a good accent. I don't speak fast, so hablo pero lento.
If they tell you how much in Spanish it costs, can you understand?
Yeah, like for example, so I ask them like cuánto cuesta, and then they tell me like $2-3 or something.
That's really great.
Yeah, it is. So like they can't talk shit about me because I would know. But yeah.
Well, Joan, nobody's talking shit about you. You were fantastic.
Thank you so much, Tony.
Thank you for the work that you do.
Thank you.
Thank you and your people for all the sunshine that they bring to LA.
Thank you.
And I really look forward to seeing where your next adventure is going to be. And I hope that the Philippines let you travel again sooner than later.
I hope so too. Thank you very much, Tony. Thank you for having me here, and I hope that when my kababayans hear this, they would be proud that somebody of our culture like represented, got to represent here in your podcast.
Well, that's very gracious of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
How great was Joan? You know who we'd eat pig faces with at Dollar Hits? Our Patreons. When you stoke us, you're saying, Tony, Jordan, here's a bunch of cash. Take a safari to Nigeria. So shout out to our Patreons, Nancy Rommelman, Sean Atlow, Matt Mills, Sean Wallace, Greg and Molly, Jamie Taylor, Mark Johnson, Kira Ann, Barney Grinke, Ben Welsh, Jen Adams, Trevor Wilson, Bree Wild, Dougie Gyro, Christina Up North, Robin Carey, Adam Shorn, Ben from Down Under, Chris from the ATX, and Gregor. To be a Patreon, just go to patreon.com/hereinla and give till it hurts. Also, shout out to our Angelinos. To be an Angelino, all you got to do is PayPal or Venmo, $25 or more, and we will list you on the Here in LA website forever. And also the Medium blog. You know, the one that works. Just send your hard-earned cash to busblog@gmail.com. In fact, that same address, busblog@gmail.com, is where you would write if you would like to be a guest on the show. Want to support us, but you just got your electric bill and ho Nelly, that's a lot of pesos. You can still help. Post your favorite episode on your Facebook. Post too. Tweet something nice about this. In fact, anytime you see me tweet about an episode or anything funny, just retweet it. It doesn't hurt. Elon Musk is still going to love you. And for God's sake, tell your friends. Tell your friends how Here in LA is spelled, and then it's on Apple Podcasts and Google and Spotify. Here in LA is produced by myself, Tony Pierce, and a man who also isn't shy about wearing crop tops, Jordan Katz. Editing, mixing, and music supervision by Jordan Katz. Songs by Oregon and Jordan Katz. Special thanks to Cindy for creating the logo, Jen for inspiring this, and world travelers everywhere who pop into LA and give us a fair chance. Come back again soon.